to the stent.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. We don't think it's related to the stent clogging, which is sometimes what can happen. So the stent is open, the heart is getting good blood that's oxygenated, which is the most important thing for the heart. My guess, as not a cardiologist, so put as much stock in this as you want, which is probably not much, but my guess is when you open up a blood vessel that had previously been very occluded or clogged, and you give a lot more blood and oxygen and nutrients to tissue that previously wasn't getting that much, you can get kind of what we call a reperfusion injury, and the tissue just gets shocked from getting all this nutrients and blood.
A shock to the system?
Yeah, exactly. We see it, my daytime job is a surgeon. We see it all the time when we open legs up or reperfuse a liver or something like that. So that's my best guess as to what's going on. She hasn't had another event, which is a good thing. We're going to leave the breathing tube in and leave her on the ventilator all night tonight, just as a precaution. The cardiologist put the balloon pump in more as a precaution than he thought anything was wrong acutely. So that is, the way he described it to me is he wants to try and keep and open up as many tiny little capillaries in the heart, or tiny little blood vessels in the heart as possible, to keep getting as much nutrients and oxygen to the heart as possible. And he thinks the balloon pump will help. But there was no scary thing that she had to have a balloon pump for. If you go online later and you're looking why does somebody get a balloon pump, you may see heart failure as the most common reason. That's not the reason he put it in.
Okay.
He really put it in just to hopefully prevent any more of these arrhythmias.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and she's not staying here. She's going to Barnes.
So, that whole thing. So, I spent a night. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That all came. It's a little unclear, and I talked to the cardiologist. He said that before the procedure and after the procedure, she did not have pulses in her feet, which I totally believe. Anybody who has calcium and a heart blockage often has calcium and artery blockages all the way down to their feet. That's very common. However, there was a concern that nursing staff told our nursing staff that there was a pulse there. So that prompted a CT scan. I talked to the surgeon again, or the cardiologist again. He said, no, there were not any pulses. But at this point, we had gotten the CT at this point. The CT was concerning for two things. One was totally unrelated. They saw an artery that feeds all of the intestines, and it looked like it was a little broken, not bleeding or anything like that, but again, related to some of the calcium in those blood vessels. It looked like it had maybe hit some calcium and was causing some of the calcium to block the rest of the blood flow to the intestines. The intestines look beautiful on the CT scan. She's never been complaining of any belly pain. All of the other labs that we would use to track intestinal ischemia are fine. So I don't think that's a big problem, but we do not have a vascular surgeon here that could fix that if it needs to be fixed. The other thing that they saw on that CT scan is a possible piece of clot that might be in the distal part of her leg. We had our vascular surgeons at Barnes look at it. They were kind of hedgy, understandably. They're not here, they're not looking at her, they can't really tell. And so, based on those two things that they found on the CT scan, they accepted her over at Barnes. I'll tell you right now, I'm not a vascular surgeon. I think she should go over there and get evaluated by the vascular surgeons. A whole lot of nothing may come of this. But that being said, I work 90% of my time down there. They have literally everything. And if they need to do something, they can do it there, whereas we just can't do it here.
Okay.
So I think it's the safest thing. If you get worried because it's taking hours and hours and hours to get over there, it is okay. We are watching her very closely, both her physical exam, all of her vital signs, and then lab values to make sure that if there is an embolus here or a problem here, that it's not getting worse and we can't fix it immediately. If we feel like something is getting really, really bad, we will call back and say we need to get there. We need to be bumped up on the list. Okay. Just to kind of manage expectations. What questions do you guys have? This is like a ton of info. I know. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess the question that everybody is like, she's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And I know it's probably hard to say right now. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. You got any questions?
Yeah, this usually a long-term recovery.
It's hard to know. The good thing is when she had the code, when her heart stopped, they immediately started CPR. They got her pulse back very quickly. They've got the breathing tube in. It's kind of like if you're going to lose your pulse, that was the best place and time to do it because you're surrounded by people that know how to fix that problem. So that's the good thing. We'll wake her up if she's still here in the morning. We always wake people up at least once a day. We have them in a medication-induced coma to make sure they're comfortable. The breathing tube itself can be very painful, so it's just to make her more comfortable. But we'll wake her up and make sure she's moving everything. That'll be one of the first things that we kind of check in the morning. I anticipate she'll wake up okay. Again, because we just didn't have a lot of downtime. She didn't have a lot of downtime. In terms of recovery, what was her day-to-day like beforehand? Was she out
Sick.
She was
Not
sick?
every day. So he's talking about like recently.
Okay.
She thought she had just like a virus
Let me
or
tell
something.
you, stuff's been going around.
And that's why, it started last week. She had like this cough. She was real tired.
Yeah.
Just no energy.
Flu,
Yeah.
RSV,
And she
COVID.
did call her doctor. We tried to get her to go in, but she
Out-
called.
Outside of that, though, she's
Yeah.
driving herself, shopping for groceries, walking
Pretty good.
around. Okay.
So I will say she has lupus.
Okay.
So I don't know if that was.
She on steroids for that? Just out of curiosity. I love
She-
the daughter. I love
Yeah.
the daughter.
Well, she typed that up. Now I don't know if I can
Yeah, but you
understand
had
it. Yeah. I don't think she's on steroids daily.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, this is great.
Yeah, and it's more on the back.
That's a fine mind, is it?
I don't think that's a steroid.
Okay, this is really helpful. Just on methotrexate. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Oh.
Very cool. Okay. That being I'm hopeful right now. And I'm kind of a pessimist. Like, if people aren't doing well, I personally think I should just be very honest with families.
Right.
I'm pretty hopeful for her right now. We'll see how she wakes up, and we'll see what kind of heart function she has in the next 48 hours, and that is really going to determine a lot of what the next weeks to months kind of look like in terms of her projected recovery. That's a shitty answer, and it's not what you want to hear, and I just don't have, it'll be, 8 weeks and she's going to be back to normal. I just
Right.
don't know
Yeah.
that. I don't know that.
Yeah, I understand that. I just kind of wanted a basic idea of what's normal or abnormal.
There's a bed for two.
Yeah.
Great. Like now,
Yes.
not in like 3 days.
Right, so
That's fantastic. All
Just
right.
letting you
What unit?
5613 is the room number.
Thank you guys.
For her?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have way
So
less
should we go
wait
with her,
lists.
or should we just give them time to do what they do and come back in the morning?
I will tell you right now she's very stable.
Mhm.
I am not worried she is going to die imminently. We're going to keep the breathing tube in. We're going to keep the balloon pump in. We're going to get her over there. I don't think anything is going to change when she gets over there.
Mhm.
The vascular surgeons will evaluate her. If I had to guess, they're not gonna do anything acutely tonight, and they may do something tomorrow, unless the leg gets significantly worse in the next few hours. If I were you guys, I would go home and I would get some sleep, and I would visit her tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but
We would just be in the way.
it's not that you would be in the way by any means. You probably wouldn't get to see her for several hours while they get her situated. It's going to take several hours for them to just get an ambulance over
Yeah.
here, get her over there, settle her in. And it's just, frankly, it's a waste of your time. And you guys need sleep. Okay? No news is good news whenever you're dealing with us as in general.
Right.
So we will always, and that includes my colleagues down the road, we will always call you if we feel like you need to come in or something is getting worse, or we need to do something and get your permission for it. We will not always call you if things are the same or getting better. Okay, so no news is good news.
So will
Okay.
they call? You want them to call you or me?
It don't really matter. I mean,
call it.
Legally, you are in charge
Right.
unless you say I want to put this on someone else. Just so you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
You want me
We
to
should
do
do
it?
I don't want to put it on nobody else.
No, we should do that.
You know, I kind of let the family help make the decision.
Well, I mean, just for updates and
So
stuff.
you should get it to.
well, yeah, for the update.
Tell you about the bed situation.
Yeah. We're just making sure we're all up to speed.
Sure. Okay.
They heard too.
Alright.
Thanks,
Thank you.
AJ.
Oh, that's AJ.
That's AJ.
Hi, AJ. Bye, AJ.
Bye, AJ.
I'm so swamped. I'm so
That's
swamped.
okay.
We
We've
understand.
been so swamped up here, so we would have
It's been a
talked to
busy
you guys
night.
earlier, but
And I understand.
Yeah.
You know, it's the waiting game.
for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So.
So are you saying he needs to verbally give permission to give updates, or
I don't know. What we'll do is we'll take okay. We'll take both, and if you want to give your phone number too, it's totally fine.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll make
He's
sure
gonna tell you to call me. That one will.
do me a favor, because this is not,
I got you.
I am not the reliable one. Give your phone numbers to the nursing staff if you haven't already, and they'll make sure the
Yeah.
chart is updated.
Okay.
Okay.
right?
And then do me a favor, just keep your phones on and next to your bedside
Absolutely.
table and not on silent.
Nope.
Never.
Okay.
I sleep
Perfect.
with mine. So.
Okay. Go get something to eat, get some rest, and I really do feel like she's gonna be okay. We're gonna
Mhm.
see though in the next 48 hours what her heart's doing. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we can do is, right now, is at the point where it's more so a waiting game.
Yep.
Nobody wants to wait.
How long have you guys been married?
6 years.
Oh my goodness. I think my husband might kill me after 6.
Nah.
Well, I tell you like this, if he didn't kill you in the first 3,
We're
to
good.
go.
We're good. Alright, well, I'll let you guys, feel free to stay in here, feel free to go back and visit with her. It usually takes a few hours to get an ambulance over here and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I wanna go to the nearest bathroom and the nearest blanket.
All
Alright,
right.
that happens.
So you want to go home? You want to go and go home?
No,